We'll call this meeting of the Silver City Town Council to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll forego the reading of the mission and move right on to proclamations. And I have a proclamation for Think Local, Buy Local, Invest Local, and Stay Local Days, December 1st through the 15th, 2012. And if you're here to receive this, meet me at the podium. Whereas Southwest New Mexico Green Chamber of Commerce is focused on supporting the success and strengths of our local economy and encouraging the efforts of our local business owners, and whereas the Southwest New Mexico Green Chamber of Commerce was officially organized in January of 2010 with the stated purpose of supporting the efforts of socially and environmentally responsible business practices, such that they positively impact our community. And whereas the Southwest New Mexico Green Chamber of Commerce is coordinating the Stay and Shop program December 1 through 15, 2012 with local lodging businesses who will reduce their nightly price for guests that present a sales receipt from local businesses. And whereas the second annual New Mexico Tamal Fiesta IMAS will be held in historic downtown Silver City on December 8, 2012 from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. to promote our Hispanic culture, local foods, folk art, entertainment, independent businesses, and entrepreneurship and tourism to help build a sustainable economy. And whereas what and where you buy matters, and encouraging local buying has proven to positively impact communities on multiple levels, including keeping local communities unique, improving the environment by reducing transportation, keeping money local, money spent local stays local, promoting stronger local economies with competition and diversity, reducing costs to the town as local businesses cost communities less in infrastructure, supporting community needs as local businesses are invested in the community, and local business give more back to their communities and nonprofit causes. Now therefore I, James R. Marshall, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the town of Silver City, do hereby proclaim December 1st through the December 15th, 2012, Think Local, Buy Local, Invest Local, and Stay Local Days, and urge all citizens to support our independent and locally owned businesses. Rich?
All right, Rich Bigelow here. Thank you, Mayor and Town Council, for considering this, support this very important proclamation. I am this year's 2012 Southwest Green Chamber President. I don't come alone tonight. In fact, I've got a good part of my board here. Executive Director, who probably speaks before you monthly, Cece McAndrews. We have Gordon West, also a board member. We have Bonnie Zelenko, and we have Linda Ames Smith. So thanks for supporting us here. I have to say that, I really, please consider to support this proclamation. Our main focus with the Green Chamber is our businesses. Number one priority is supporting our local businesses. And this really enhances, if you look at money spent, local stays local, that money circulates through town several times. That's very important that we start with our dollar in town and continue. December 8th is the second annual Tamale Festival. We hope it's well represented. Last year it was very successful, and we hope our numbers continue to be so it's a successful annual event. I believe that with that event we can get people from out of town, and it'll be a growing deal. So we support these first 15 days of December. Let's support our local businesses. Thank you. I'm sorry, anybody else want a comment from our chamber?
Way you go, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. We have a camera? This holiday season, support your local businesses, your friends in the Yankee Texas Arts District. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is public input. We have 2 people signed up, and I remind you have 5 minutes to speak. If you're looking at me, I'll give you a 1-minute warning. And the first up is Nancy Cliff, reference San Vicente Trail survey.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy Cliff. I'm a member of the Grant County Trails Group, as is Michelle Giese. Michelle is holding up a website for the San Vicente Trail User Survey, which has been in place for a couple months now. We're collecting information that will contribute toward planning and improving the trail. A secondary goal is to bring the trail to the attention of potential users. As you know, the trailhead is beneath the Hudson Street Bridge, which is Route 90, with a kiosk in place that shows a map of the trail and other information. I'm here to announce that the survey data collection will end this Friday, the 30th, and we are seeking as many respondents as possible between now and then. So, here's the website. It's very easy. Get the computer rolling and type this in. And if you can't remember this one, the link is on the town website, thanks to Alex Brown. Your opinion counts. Please complete the survey by the end of the month. All responses are anonymous. When you submit your survey, you'll be directed to a petition, and signing the petition is completely optional. Survey results will be publicized in early December. That's all I have to say. Do you have any questions?
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you very much.
Michelle, did you want 5 minutes?
No, thanks.
Well, that makes it easy. So that takes care of public input. We'll move on to, it was Michelle. We'll move on to council comments. Councilor Bettison, would you like to start?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief comment. I just wanted to, hopefully this will reach the ears of people who are on bicycles, just to remind folks that it is getting dark out there around dusk, and some of our intersections are not lit very well. So if you don't have a light on your bicycle, please don't run the red light. You're actually supposed to stop at the red light. Unfortunately, thankfully, I was pretty slow to, I always wait for a few minutes before I go through red light, but a person ran through a red light without their lights on, without any lights on their bicycle, and I would not have seen them. It was very poorly lit, the direction that they were heading on I guess, well, it's 180 through town. So just be careful, and I would say the same for folks who are walking. If you see vehicles stop, they may not see you, even though if there is a crosswalk there, especially if you're at an intersection within the town that doesn't have any street lights right there at that intersection, at least on the one side that you may be standing on, because that was a little bit difficult, and it was early on Saturday prior to the lighted Christmas parade. There were a lot of people out, and people just kind of walking across without really taking a minute just to stop and make sure that the vehicles were seeing them, even though they had stopped at the stop sign. So just a word of warning, and that's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Cook.
No comment today, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ray.
No comment, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Moronis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only comment I have is it looks like the Silver City Main Street project is having their annual awards and volunteer recognition event this Friday. It looks like from 6 to 8 p.m. They're also having a charity auction. I've been to a couple of those, and it's been a few years, and very fun, very nice event. I encourage everybody to attend and enjoy that and help the local Main Street project. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And I'll forgo. That makes the next item on the agenda. Any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Hearing none, The agenda is approved, and we'll move on to approval of minutes of the regular meeting of the Silver City Town Council, November 13th, 2012.
Mr. Mayor.
Counselor.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular town council meeting of November 13th, 2012 as presented.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Silver City Town Council from November 13, 2012. Is there any discussion? There's a motion and a second, no discussion, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Silver City Town Council, November 13, 2012. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is reports, and the first report will be a report from the Grant County Disability Advisory Council by Susie Trujillo and friends.
All of you. Let's go.
Bonnie. Yeah. Okay. I can't. Good evening, and thank you for letting us come to speak with you this evening. My name is Susie Trujillo, and I have with me this evening members of our newly created Grant County Disabilities Advisory Council. And they are. She doesn't know it, but she's like the president or the lead person, because she is our Grant County Community Health Council designated disability sector representative. So she's really leading the crew, whether she knows it or not.
That's okay.
This is Evangeline Zamora from LifeQuest.
Good evening, Mayor and council members.
This is Vicki Galindo. She's a very dedicated and passionate mother, family member, joining us. Bonnie Zelenko, who represents the Workforce Solutions. Is that right? Connections. Workforce. There we go.
Workforce.
And she comes and is always very very dedicated to helping us make sure we think straight here. Karen Morant, she is a very dedicated and passionate parent as well, family member. And Elaine Struthers, who is a occupational therapist and also a professor at Western in the Masters of Occupational Therapy program. But she's here joining us as a private business as an occupational therapist. And so, do I miss anybody here? And of course, I have my lovely cheerleader in the fourth or fifth row back here. The reason we wanted to come with you this evening was to tell you about the Disability Advisory Council. It was created probably a month after the start of the new fiscal year. It's an initiative out of the Governor's Office and the Governor's Commission on Disabilities. I think they really wanted to see some work being done in the southern part of the state, and especially in the southwestern part of the state. So this is one of their quality of life initiatives. And the majority of us have been working together on other issues for disabilities for a while now, and so we really grabbed onto this opportunity to be able to do some work. And if you'll let me be so kind, I'd like to read to you what we came up with our mission to be. The purpose of the group was it has been decided to be to advise the Grant County Community Health Council, Town of Silver City, Grant County Commission, local educational entities, etc., regarding the needs of people with disabilities in Grant County, to promote advocacy and opportunities in Grant County for individuals with physical, developmental, intellectual, and learning disabilities. We narrowed it down, but we would never leave anybody out if they so desired to. We missed their opportunity. In particular, we feel like there are a lot of needs that we're not aware of, and one of the things we're going to be doing in the next 6 to 8 months is trying to do some focus groups to find out what are some of the things that we should be advising you and policymakers on in Grant County around people with disabilities. Those of us that are new to this area, I don't know a lot about a lot of the things that happen around disabilities, and I look forward to getting educated and also helping educate you as we find out more information. In addition, I'd like to mention that the Wellness Coalition is also involved in this initiative. They are administrating this grant from the Governor's Office and helping us along the way. In addition, let's see, have I forgotten anything, ladies? Our initiative really only calls for us to meet every other month, but this crew behind me, is extremely excited, and we have been meeting once a month. And sometimes those of you around here have been meeting, I think, daily. We're trying to get a grant together to try to do some additional work in the community, and so we're looking at a Freeport grant coming up very shortly. And so also, I realize that some of you are on my email distribution list. I believe we have some new counselors that are not on my list. I would like to ask permission if you would like to be included. I have a governmental sector on my email distribution list that I send lots of emails out, probably too many, and excuse me for that, but what I try to do, part of this initiative, is to make sure that there's lots of things happening in Santa Fe and Albuquerque area that we very seldom get to know about down here. So they send me the information, and I have an email distribution list of probably 120 different people in our community. Anywhere from educational representatives to governmental representatives to disability agency representatives and family members and self-advocates. So if I could add anyone on there, if you're not getting emails from me, please give me a call. You can let James know, and I'd be glad to add your name. Lastly, I'd like to thank Alex, Peter, and is it Misty, the swimming pool? A couple of years ago, I came to Alex and I asked him to help us develop some kind of recreation for kiddos with disabilities, and he was kind enough to help us develop a swim lesson. I think it was a 2-week, or might be mistaken about that, a couple of weeks swim lesson where family members and kiddos got to go down and use the swimming pool. And it was a wonderful success. Some of our parents used it, and we really do thank you. And we will come to you for more of this kind of thing. Are there any questions? Is there anything you guys would like to say? I think you've got to say something.
I think you've covered most of it in terms of our meetings and items we've discussed.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Just so you know that Susie's not hallucinating, we really are working to find a room at the rec center that we can designate for sensory therapy for you to work with your family on those needs. We have a room identified, and we've spoken to Peter Pena, who oversees that department, and we've got some things to do. And when we're ready, we'll have you come up and make sure that it will actually meet the needs. And
would you like to speak to that real fast, just to the need?
I'll say one thing.
Say one thing.
I am going to say this because Karen asked me earlier to say this, is to remind us that people with disabilities are no different from us, and that statistically we will all be people with a disability through age, injury, or disease. And to just remember that it's not a separate group of people, but that it's really us. And thank you for all your efforts to help those with disabilities.
And I will say the sensory integration room that we're talking about, the city helping us with, is something that kiddos need desperately. And sometimes insurances don't cover it. Most of the time they don't. And if you don't have insurance, you don't have opportunities. So you will be helping a lot by helping us develop this. We really do thank you, and we will be coming back to see you probably once a quarter, if that's okay. Once a month? There we go. See, I've got passion on my side. Thank you very much. Is there anything else? And if anybody out there in TV land decides that they would like to join the Disability Advisory Council, all you have to do is call Susie Trujillo, and the number is 313-3604, or talk to the mayor. He knows how to get a hold of me. Thank you. Any more questions?
thank you.
Thanks.
Next is reports. Mr. Brown. No reports. And our wonderful town clerk, did you want to give a report?
Sure, I'd like to. Yes, Mayor. I'd like to talk about our upcoming election. No? Can you hear me now?
It's a little better.
Okay. I'll get closer. I wanted to talk about our upcoming election on March 5th. I've got candidate packets ready now for the counselor in District 1 and District 3, so anyone interested in running for those offices, they may pick up those candidate packets in my office or print them off the town's website. The date for candidates to declare their candidacy is January 8th at City Hall from 8 to 5 in my office. That's the only date. If you miss that date, there is a another day as a write-in candidate, but that's another week or two down the road. I'm also looking for precinct workers for our election, so if anyone's interested in being a precinct worker, please contact me at City Hall. In addition to that, I'd like to discuss our openings and vacancies that we have on boards and committees. We've got, we're advertising for all of these. For the Grant County Silver City Extraterritorial Subdivision Commission, we're advertising for 1 regular member and 2 alternate members. For the Climate Protection Agreement Citizens Advisory Committee, we're advertising for 3 positions. For the Incentive Review Committee, we still need applicants to represent District 1 and District 3. We've got some from the other districts, but we need more applications for District 1 and 3. And Planning and Zoning Commission, we're advertising for 2 positions. So anyone interested in applying for those, they can get information off the town's website. They can see me at City Hall, and I even brought applications to the meeting tonight. So if any of those nice people out there would like to apply, there's applications out there. And that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Any report from Police Department? Thanks. The next item on the agenda will be under new business, item A, approval, disapproval of bid number 12/13-5 home rehabilitation project.
Mayor and Council, the town received 2 bids for bid 12/13-5 for a home rehabilitation program. One bid was from Fiesta Homes out of Las Cruces, and the other was Oak Ridge Homes out of Silver City. It's staff's recommendation to award the bid to Fiesta Homes for a base bid amount of $54,777.96, plus gross receipts tax for a total of $58,817.83. This all is entirely grant funded, and the actual budget for this project was $80,000, so it falls well within the budget for the project.
So that's located on the property, set up, connected, handed keys.
He's ready to move your furniture in and go.
Any discussion?
Councilor Bedison.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve bid number 12/13-5 home rehabilitation project per staff's recommendation to Fiesta Homes. Base bid $54,777.96, plus gross receipts tax of $4,039.87, with a total amount of $58,817.83.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? Councilor.
Just out of curiosity, I know we've done these before, but I always have to remind myself, what process do people have to qualify for this type of rehab?
There's certain requirements under the grant program that for the home rehabilitation program, the owner can go into to the City Hall annex, to the planning department, where they'll fill out an application. There's certain requirements. There's income requirements. They must own the property, and then if they meet the income requirements and everything, then staff will go out and do inspections to review what's the necessary improvements are. In this case and the case of the next rehab, they're completely tear-downs of the old structure and the installation of manufactured homes, and they are within the proper zoning, so that we can install move in the manufactured home.
We have pretty good processes to ensure that we've that we meet all those requirements and...
Oh, yes, and then they're audited all the time, the grants and everything, by the grant agency, as well as our auditors, to ensure that we're following the processes. And they have to approve everything before we even bring it to you.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Councilor Ray.
Mr. Brown, I have a question for you on this projects that you are doing right now, like the home and rehabilitation. Does it just include just trailers, or I mean mobile homes, or does it include like another small house?
There are other small houses. It depends on the situation, because in some cases we just do rehabilitation to a current structure if it's feasible to fix the structure that's in place. In a lot of instances, because we've got a certain budget, in this case it's a tear down of the old structure and the replacement with the manufactured home. So we've done approximately 32 of these projects, and the majority of them have been homes, actual either upgrades to a current structure, and in some cases we've actually been able to tear down the old structure and put up a new home. So it just depends on the situation.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
No, sir.
There's a motion and a second to approve staff recommendation on bid 12/13-5 home rehabilitation project, awarding the bid to Fiesta Homes for a base bid of $54,777.96 plus gross receipts of $4,039.87 with a total of $58,817.83. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of rejection of bid number 12-13-6 home rehabilitation project. Mr. Brown.
The town received only one bid on this bid, 12-13-6, from Fiesta Homes for base bid amount of $77,442.99. With gross receipts, a total of $83,154.41. This exceeds the allocated budget and exceeds the 10% differential that's allowed by the Mortgage Finance Authority, the funding agency. So it's staff's recommendation to reject the bid and rebid the project with some amendments to the bid and bring it back to the next council meeting.
Is there any discussion? Councilor Bedison.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve rejection of bid number 12/13-6 home rehabilitation project per staff's recommendation. Do I have to say anything more?
You haven't changed. You're not approving rejection. I move to reject.
I move to reject. Okay. Let's start over again. I move to reject bid number 12/13-6 home rehabilitation project. Apparently I can't say that tonight. Per staff's recommendation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second to reject the bids on 12-13-6. Is there any discussion? Just out of curiosity, Alex, on this one, I've got a breakdown of prices. The FHA style foundation, does that allow for the property to be declared real property at some point?
Yes. And the bid had, we've already put together the new bid, and basically the amendments that we're going to make is to some of the dirt work, and that should bring it down within within budget.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Councilor Bedison.
I have a question. Is this the sort of information that would have been attached to the other one too? Is this,
No,
it's different for each one?
This
Okay.
building is, I mean, this structure is actually in a location that I guess the accessibility to the property was very restricted. So the tear down and the installation of the new structure was going to cause, that's one of the bigger differences in the bid is the accessibility and the dirt work that was going to be required.
Thank you.
Can you explain what's meant by the fall within the 10% differential?
Per the guidelines, you cannot exceed the budgeted amount by in excess of 10%.
Thanks. Any other discussion? There's a motion, a second, no further discussion to reject all bids for 12-13-6 home rehabilitation project. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is appointment to the Historic Design Review Committee. And we have an application for a reapplication from Stephen Shelendich, and the chair has recommended reappointment, and I find the applicant is duly qualified. And if there's no objection from the council, I'd like to reappoint. No objection. Hearing no objection, Mr. Shelendich is reappointed. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Or I'll leave.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I second the motion.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.